We played a little bit of the president over there. Obviously, we didn't play his entire speech. We covered that earlier this morning on Newsmax at 8 in the morning here, New York time. He said one more thing yesterday that I want to play because he keeps driving this home, and I'm glad he's doing this because it makes it clear what he means when he says America first. Guys, when he was at the dinner yesterday, this is what he had to say in terms of cheerleading and being a cheerleader. Could you play that sound?
Billions and billions of dollars is coming into the U.S., and people are very happy with what we've done, not only on the tax bill, but also cutting of regulations. And I think also being a cheerleader for our country. You know, if you're not a cheerleader for your company or for your country, no matter what happens, it's not going to work. And that's what I've been, and that's what my whole group has been.
So with that, Scott, doesn't that make sense?
Of course it makes sense. But, you know, one of the things that we fall into this trap of is the previous president, Barack Obama, was a very eloquent man. Right. And we believed that it was the nuances of the words that mattered. Donald Trump, you don't pay attention to the nuance. And, you know, that's right. If we grade him on the same scale, we're missing the point. He is a cheerleader for the country. He sometimes says things that make people like the World Economic Forum attendees cringe. But when he puts it in context and says America first, but not America alone, it does make sense.
No, it really does.
Yes, of course it does. And I understand that he's been the greatest celebrity at Davos since Angelina Jolie showed up with Brad Pitt 13 years ago.
Right. You know, and that's true too. You know, a big part of this forum is it's a rich guys club, and there's a lot of celebrities around, and Donald Trump is fitting in. But what makes it important is not the words he has chosen to do; it is the actions.
Absolutely,
he is right. The tax cuts, the reduction of the regulatory burden is making it easier to do business in America, and that's why he's getting a better reception than many expected.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, what is interesting to me is that what he's elected to do while in Davos, first of all, he looked very at home. He looked comfortable there, and a lot of times he looks uncomfortable to me in a Washington environment. But yesterday,
sort of like
well,
that.
Yeah, but yesterday at that dinner yesterday, where he was surrounded by the chief executives and chairman of some of the world's largest companies,
yes.
It was totally like, I've got my friends over for dinner.
Right.
You know, it was really nice. But he laid it out in a non-confrontational way. That's what was interesting for me, Scott. There was no declaration, there was no confrontation. It was just like a very warm Donald Trump.
Again, this is a man who did not spend his life learning the political speak that dominates official Washington. So he says a lot of things that to him are totally non-controversial, right, and are received in entirely different ways because they're being heard by a different audience. I think in this case, he had a good staff preparation. He had a good speech that explained his position better. Now, look, the reality is people who don't like Donald Trump are going to say what an awful speech it was. People who like him are going to say it was brilliant. But I think this is one of the better expressions of his policies.